Hello, I'm Stephen over at What Studio, Liverpool, Auckland. And you know what? We're going to be taking a look at the concept and the question of I'm in a band or I'm an artist. How should I prep for a recording session? Let's have a look at it. Hello. Yeah, so I'm in a band. How should I prep for a recording session? Well, the most obvious thing, this is going to be quite upsetting for most people, is that you should be able to play your own music. One of the things I do mostly is watch people try to play their own songs, and that's unusual that someone would get to being in a studio and figuring it out there and then. It's unusual, I think, to be spending your money and not preparing. So the number one advice I could offer, if you're spending money, in fact, if you're doing it for free, if you're getting it for free, in fact, if you're doing it as a favour for someone, just rehearse, with the band. So it's dull, so it's boring. That was Phil Spector's one, wasn't it? We used to like try and take all the personality out of it, and I kind of get what he means by that. I wouldn't use the word personality though, but think, have a think about that. So the first thing you should do to prep as a band or an artist is make sure you can just go in and play it amazingly. I say this all the time with regards to like some people are quite precious about capturing their take, and I find that just frustrating as a producer or a performer who does it night after night, day after day, take after take. It's really strange when someone's like quite precious about just capturing it the once, and I can kind of understand that there's a bit of a heat and there's a bit of a moment sometimes, and sometimes that might be the one. But like I always think of just like Cher just knocking out like 20 takes that are all incredible, and it's more about like which one to pick rather than oh she got it right on the seventh take. Do you know what I mean? So I'd like if you're really good or aiming to be really good, I would say be able to be really good. That's the best prep you can do. Other thing is another good. I mean, that's on a conceptual level, I guess. Um, on a practical note, it's good to know your BPMs, your beats per month, and if you know that you're every section you should have, even if you're just a punk band, you should know like this one's 200 BPM, this one's 220 BPM, whatever it is. Just so you can just count yourselves in correctly at minimum, or at maximum, you should have your click tracks prepped. Another thing that sometimes I find unusual is that an act will have say a day booked in, and that's probably enough time to do the music for this one song, and then I say is everything prepped, and everything is prepped, and I get a confirmation that things are prepped, and then it turns out it's not prepped enough in the sense that the click tracks aren't made. So even if it's one song, maybe it's got like a tempo change in it, and they didn't mention that, or something like that. And then the point is that you might spend half hour fiddling around trying to like get the right click track for the particular. I don't know. You get what I'm pointing at there. Like just do anything that can be done outside of the room. Do it outside the room rather than in the room where it's on the clock and it doesn't need to be. So tempos, click tracks, guides, references. You can play. Don't go out on the lash the night before. That's a good one. Don't eat loads of cheese and dairy the night before if you're a singer. Things like that. Just don't stay up late, even though it's quite exciting. Don't stay up late, kids. Have a good night's kip. Have a good night's kip, and lie back and think of England.